For Original-Gamer.com, these are the top 5 reasons Professor Layton is a jerk. I am Eduardo Randomizer 9 Solis, the voice of Original-Gamer.com. I bought Professor Layton and the Unwound Future for the Nintendo DS a few months ago. It was the first Professor Layton game that I had ever played, and except for the ending, I really enjoyed it. Now, when I started playing the game, the Professor seemed like a decent enough fellow, but as I kept playing, I started liking him less and less to the point where I came to think of him as being a pretty big jerk, and here's why. Number 5. He's British. While not all Britons are jerks, if you're on the borderline between being an okay guy and a jerk, being British is going to tip you over to the jerk side of the line. I mean, think about it. We have a whole series of television shows which all feature British people telling Americans what awful people we are. Shows like The Weakest Link, American Idol, Super Nanny, and even hit web series Zero Punctuation all follow this trend. The insane part is, for whatever reason, we just can't get enough of it. Number 4. He attracts trouble. For being a mild-mannered professor, Layton just seems to attract trouble wherever he goes. He even has a rogues gallery just like Batman. Also like Batman, he's pretty damn hard to kill, but that's mainly because his enemies make the Bond villain mistake of always giving him a way out. I wonder just what is this mild-mannered professor hiding for all these people to want him dead? Number 3. He has a slave boy. In the Professor Layton games, there's a kid named Luke that follows him around on his adventures. Now, this becomes mildly disturbing when you consider that the games take place in modern times. I mean, doesn't Luke go to school or have a family or somewhere to be instead of following Professor Dangerous around? You know, more than likely, given the professor's checkered past, he was probably sold into slavery in order to pay his parents' debts. That also might explain the constant attempts on the professor's life. Number 2. He's constantly coming up with extra puzzles for you to do. The world of Professor Layton and Slave Boy is one in which nearly everything in everyday life requires a puzzle of some kind to be finished. Want to get into your house? Do a puzzle. Buy groceries? Do a puzzle. Start your car? Puzzle. But that's not enough for the professor though. Oh no. Not only does he hand off a good chunk of the puzzles to Slave Boy, he also randomly comes up with extra puzzles for him to do just for the sheer hell of it. Oh my, I just broke my leg. That reminds me of a puzzle. Do it, Slave Boy. Dick. And the number 1 reason why Professor Layton is a jerk? He's a gentleman. Like being British, being a gentleman isn't necessarily a bad thing. Society tends to smile down upon those who use the words sir and ma'am and hold the door open for little old ladies at the grocery store and all that good stuff. The problem with Layton is that he can't stop being a gentleman even when it's probably a good idea. At one point in Unwound Future, talking to bystanders results in them crapping their pants and getting scared out of their wits because everybody in this world is apparently afraid of the professor, and they all recognize him because of his hat. One of the NPCs asks the professor if he could take his hat off to stop scaring people, but oh no, he won't do it because he is a gentleman, and a gentleman never takes his hat off. Apparently, causing panic in the streets and freaking people out wherever you go is the gentlemanly thing to do as well. Now don't get me wrong, Professor Layton and the Unwound Future is a good game and I will eventually get around to playing the first 2. And who knows, maybe I'll start even liking him once I get to know him better. But, for now, he's still a big fat jerk.